now first to speak with the Most Honorable Corey Forde, Director of Clinical and Diagnostic Services, and Sandra Beckles-Hackett, who is the Manager of Clinical Risk Management, the Clinical Risk Management Unit at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have both of you with us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And I must say that I've seen you, Dr. Forde, so much on TV and in the things that we've done. It's so ironic that I have never met you in person before, so it's good to have you with us. Same story, Sandra. I can't say that I've seen you all over the TV before, but you know, people would think that because you're in the media that you get to see all the time. So today I'm fanning out over Dr. Forde, but we're here to talk about the unit's Patient Safety Awareness Week, which really is a week to kind of honor patients and honor all the publics whom you serve and kind of engage with them. And that's along the lines of what you do daily, Sandra, as Manager of Clinical Risk Management. It sounds like a big title, but from what I understand, it really is about you managing compliments and complaints and the like. So explain to us a little bit what you do in that particular department.
Okay. Thanks again for having us here this morning. In the Department of Clinical Risk Management, we not only process complaints and compliments, we also look to see, because with clinical risk management, we are looking at opportunities to look to see where we can improve the quality of our healthcare services. So we look at different things happening within the institution where we can improve on. So with the complaints and the compliments, what we do, we not only look to process them to respond to the complainants. What we also do is look to see where are the areas within the processes within the institution, within the hospital, that we need to tweak to improve so that those services are better. Because more often than not, when persons come with complaints, they said, oh, I'm bringing this so that somebody else does not have to have the same experience.
Well, and we most certainly, in all spheres of business, want to get feedback, because that's how we're able to assess what we're doing and determine how we can change to serve our publics better and, you know, do ourselves justice as well. Dr. Forde, what are some of the areas that you've found over time that people really want to engage with the personnel of the QEH about?
Well, what I will first like to start off, you know me, I'm very straightforward and very to the point. I believe when it comes to issues with regards to what we're here to speak about today, that the average Barbadian really supports this type of activity that is at the QEH. And that's that I also want to say that we as an institution also recognize that we have our challenges. And I think that's a very important place to start in any discussion, to recognize that there are challenges. And there are mechanisms, which I'm sure Sandra will speak about, through which people can actually get this particular complaints in the system, and also for compliments. We often talk about complaints, but there are also many compliments that actually come through the system.
Yes.
And I think how we mitigate those things is traditionally, I think, very important. I think one of the key points I really want to make this morning is that we recognize, as I said before, that there are challenges, and we are currently working at how we can best mitigate those challenges. Part of the clinical risk process is identifying those issues and working with strategic partners within the facility to make sure that we can fix some of these issues, even with all the constraints that we actually have. So complaints come in to the facility, and it's a whole network of activity. What most Barbadians might not know, or really may be privy to in the near future, is that we've started within the last year or so, since I started directorship, a patient relations department. So that's another flag communication with the clinical risk. And then taking it even further, within the last year or so, we started a quality department. And Sandra will tell you, one of the things that I really told them is that these three departments are really key to improvement of services within the system. So clinical risk, identifying what challenges there may be, but also looking at what the complements are, and working with the patient relations department to try to communicate how things can be done, and then quality, looking at the policies within the facility and how we can improve them. And I think we as a people need to understand that these particular departments are departments that are seen throughout the entire globe. And why are they there? They're there for a reason, because in every single hospital across the globe, there are challenges that people face. The average person who comes through the emergency department, which gets a lot of flag, the average person who comes into the facility as admitted, ultimately have, may encounter challenges along the way. And we are certainly, as a facility, recognizing those things. I always tell them, recognize criticism when it comes in, and don't take it as criticism, but take it as a learning point to do better.
Yes.
Absolutely. So what can we look forward to this week as you prepare to engage and really celebrate the compliments as well as the complaints? Great to hear that processes are in place to ensure that you're dealing with them, because a lot of people, will question that. They want to know whether their complaints are in fact being heard.
Yes.
Or whether what they suggest, because I know suggestions will come in from time to time as well, whether what's being suggested, makes a difference in any way in what you do.
Exactly. That is why we're using this Patient Safety Awareness Week. It's celebrated yearly worldwide. And the theme this year is Together for Safety. And that is why we have now put in our major theme, fostering a culture of safety, which fits right into that. So what we are doing is actually demonstrating through this week of activity that, yes, we have heard you. These are the things that we are doing. So the week of activities on the Wednesday, which is going to be open to the public, we have our internal and external partners. So what persons are going to be seeing, they're going to be seeing being demonstrated the patient safety tools and the needs that other departments are using, because they've been hearing what they've been saying as to this is what is happening to us. So we have our internal partners, different departments within the hospital, actually demonstrating the things that they've started to put in place, and the external partners as to what they're actually assisting us with. So that is primarily that for that open day. But what we have also added is continuous learning for our internal staff, because we have been hearing, as you said, the suggestions, and we're having digestive sessions on Tuesday and Thursday on management of pressure sores, falls, looking at pharmacovigilance, which comes in with medication incidents, and then actually having a session where we go through how to make a complaint and how to report into the department, which helps us in identifying. So the other thing that we're doing, you have to bring that camaraderie together. So today we're having shout outs to various departments, encouraging and thanking them for partnering with us in patient safety. One year we took it a bit further, and we actually gave certificates of appreciation, and persons have them boldly put up in their departments, thanking you for being a partner in patient safety. And one of the things that we started doing from last year was having the whole week blessed, and we had the pleasure of the First Baptist Church under the leadership of Pastor Leacock yesterday blessing our week of activities, as well as blessing the department for the, and because of the work that we have to do, as well as, apart from exercising their brains, we want to exercise their body, because you have to have that balance. So we have a workout session on Thursday afternoon after work. So I'm encouraging all staff to bring their gear down with them, and we are going to have a session in our River Road car park with exercise guru by the name of Spinny. We're finishing off the week with a symposium on the management of preeclampsia. We are learning, because this is a very serious complication in pregnancy, and what we want to demonstrate, because the theme for our symposium is patient safety culture, what does it look like? So what we want to do is to actually show persons how we come together as different specialties when we have complicated conditions, how best we're going to be managing it. So one of the things that what we are going to be doing, presenting, we have very experienced and knowledgeable persons presenting from the anesthesia department, from cardiology, from nursing, from the ONG department, as well as pediatrics. So we want to show the full picture of how we manage preeclampsia. So that's what we are going to be doing. So we want to use this week to remind persons that yes, the department as well as the hospital is very invested in managing patient safety, and we want to demonstrate how we are doing it.
I would imagine that it goes beyond patient safety, and even if we talk about patient safety in terms of what you do, I think it's important to look at managing your internal publics as well, because not only structurally, but just the fact that you manage a 24 operation the way you do. Sometimes when I think about what it takes for staffing needs and taking care of the staff of the QEH, it's a mammoth task. So how are you leveraging what you're doing in terms of bringing the other departments on board and sharing what's happening to manage risks, so to speak, for the general public? How are you kind of leveraging that to make sure that you ensure safety is paramount among staff in the QEH as well?
Yeah, so I think the whole culture of safety is important, like you said, and I just wanted to mention one last point which is important, which is we actually, in recent times, for the last year again, we started a patient committee, so they can filter the challenges directly. So it's not just our internal employees, we actually patients from the outside, we actually patients in the hospital who've had experiences, so they get a chance to be part of the administrative process within the hospital, and that's actually key to a patient-centered approach. But to directly answer your question, and one of the things I would have told the department very, very early on is, internationally, there's this whole idea of people sending in complaints. But also it's a very important component that we also actively get on the ground, go to the departments to figure out what's going on. And Sandra will tell you, certainly in terms of obstetrics, is really where this is coming out of, obstetrics, pediatrics, emergency department, to see what some of the challenges are on the ground at that point of time. So we actually have an active and a passive process. And I think identifying what your challenges are, whether it be as they're doing for this week, for example, whether it be a pressure sores, whether it be falls, whether it be medication management, having training in those areas for the staff helps beef things up within the facility and provides that level of support for the staff in terms of education and continuous education. Medicine is fluent. It's not something that stays here today. Things change with time, and I think this is an important part that certainly the institution over the last couple of years have been focusing on, as we focus a lot on what we call a patient-centered approach, and that's where we need to be as a facility. How we get there is what we're certainly discussing today, and we will get there as a people. And I want to encourage Barbadians as they listen today, despite what challenges you may have faced at QEH, at any segment, to really not just go on social media and blast. I think that's something that's common across the globe, but to use the mechanisms which are in place, which I'll ask Sandra to talk about, to make those complaints and to send those compliments. Because if you use that mechanism, we're more than likely able to change things that happen within the facility. And we certainly as a facility recognize, and I keep saying we recognize that there are challenges, and we're willing to try to fix them for the people and for better health care within the society.
Absolutely. I want to thank you both for coming in and sharing with us, Dr. Corey Forde and Sandra Beckles-Hackett. I wish you a good week. And I most certainly will try to get down there and engage and interact and report back to our public as well. Yes, Dr.
I just want to say this to the public, and it came to my head just now. You know how it is with me, right? We hear you, we feel you, and we're going to enact action to ensure that you get the best possible health care that you can.
All right, good stuff. Make sure you go on the website as well, qhconnect.com. You get all of this information and a whole lot more as well, so that you are able to truly navigate this health space. Let me just say thank you to everyone at the QEH. I know that you put in phenomenal work every single day to make things possible, and sometimes just one negative thing can put a damper on all the positive work that you do on a daily basis. So congratulations. I don't think that I've had any direct engagement with the clinical risk management unit, but it most certainly is wonderful to speak with you, Sandra Beckles-Hackett, and to be able to hear exactly what you do and kind of put in perspective from you, Dr. Forde, where this department fits into the grand scheme of things when it comes to delivering quality healthcare in Barbados.
You'll hear more from us.
Yes.
Absolutely, I look forward to it. So a week of activities. They started with blessings yesterday in the right way, and it continues through to the 15th. Lots happening. Again, we showed you that website, so go there and get all the information you need.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning.